What if I told you the most popular flooring in America right now is also the one contractors are getting called back to replace the most? LVP flooring took over the market, but behind the scenes, the pros who install it every day are seeing something homeowners don't see until it's too late. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain so you can make a decision you won't regret and won't have to pay for twice. In this video, you're going to learn 3 things that most flooring salespeople will never tell you. First, what's actually going wrong with LVP flooring on job sites? The failures contractors are seeing over and over again that homeowners don't find out about until it's too late. Second, if the pros are switching away from LVP, what are they actually recommending instead and why? And third, is all LVP bad? Or are there still specific products that are worth your money and how to tell the difference? Let me tell you what made me start questioning this product. It wasn't because my installs were failing. As a company, our LVP installations have never been an issue and we haven't had any failures. But after seeing hundreds of failures from other companies in our area, I started noticing something. LVP is a lower quality product. It doesn't have the same visuals as a nice laminate floor. It's not as comfortable underfoot either because most LVP is only about a third of the thickness of a laminate plank. But the biggest issue that kept coming up over and over again was this. These companies were installing low quality LVP and doing zero self-floor preparation. That combination was setting homeowners up to fail from day one. After seeing that pattern hundreds of times, I couldn't ignore it anymore. So how did we get here? How did LVP take over the market like this? Over the last 8 to 10 years, LVP exploded. The marketing was everywhere. Waterproof, DIY friendly, affordable. I mean, it checked every box for homeowners and that's what they were looking for. And because the price point was so low and you could find it at almost any store, everyone started buying it. But when you flood the market with cheap product and pair it with companies that skip the important stuff, you end up with a lot of bad floors in a lot of homes. And that's exactly what happened. Now, let me break down what's actually failing on these job sites. When I walk into a home to assess a failed LVP floor, I'm seeing the same issues every time. Gapping between the planks, peaking where the edges push up, edges are curling up, the lamination from the wear layer and the print where the layers are literally separating apart, and subfloor telegraphing, which is when you can see every bump and dip from the subfloor showing right through the surface of the floor. And the 2 root causes I keep seeing together are low quality product and zero subfloor preparation. It's almost never just one or the other, it's both. Not all LVP is created equal. The wear layer, thickness, which is measured in mils, the core type, whether it's SPC or WPC, and the backing all matter enormously. Cheap LVP has a wear layer under 12 mils, which means it scratches and wears down fast. The core is very thin and cheap, so the click lock system fails. And LVP is especially unforgiving on subfloors, more so than laminate or engineered hardwood. Every bump, every dip, every imperfection shows right through the surface. You can see it and you can feel it under your foot. And on top of that, nobody prepped the subfloor. No grinding, no leveling, nothing. These companies don't follow the installation guidelines. They skip the prep work just to get in and out of the home as fast as possible. And to make it even worse, most of them don't give a good warranty to give the customer any peace of mind. So when the floor starts failing a year or 2 years later, the homeowner has no one to call and nowhere to turn. Real quick, if you're around the Raleigh, North Carolina area and you've been thinking about new floors, I'll make it easy for you. I'll bring the mobile showroom right to your door, help you find the floor that actually fits your home, and give you an honest, no pressure quote. Click the link in the description to schedule your in-home consultation now. The expansion gaps are another huge issue. If the installer doesn't leave proper expansion gaps around the walls and transitions, the floor has nowhere to move. And when it can't expand and contract naturally, the planks buckle and push up. I've seen this so many times. Let me put some real numbers on this so you can understand what's at stake. We have replaced projects where homeowners spent over $20,000 on their LVP floor. Then, only 2 years later, they have to spend another $25,000 just to replace what they already paid for. That's over $45,000 total. This is very unfortunate because it could have been avoided. Compare that to doing it right the first time with proper subfloor preparation and a better product for around $25,000 to $30,000. You would have saved yourself over $10,000 in a massive headache. Now let's talk about the waterproof claim because this is the biggest misconception out there. Yes, the plank itself may not absorb water. It's made of vinyl and plastic, so the material won't swell. But water gets through the seams. It gets between the joints and sits underneath the floor. And once that happens, it starts rotting your subfloor. It can also create mold underneath the padding, which is the one thing homeowners almost never ask about during a quote. But it's something you should absolutely be asking. Just because the plank is waterproof does not mean your floor system is waterproof. There are also some other problems homeowners don't see coming. First, VOC off-gassing. A lot of cheap LVP, especially the imported stuff, can release volatile organic compounds into your air. If you have kids or pets, this is a big deal. You want to make sure whatever floor you're putting in your home is safe and low VOC. Second, heat sensitivity. If you have a sunroom or a south-facing room with a lot of direct sunlight, cheap LVP can warp, it can buckle, it can even discolor from the heat. I've seen floors that looked fine in the winter completely fall apart once summer hit and the sun was beating down on them all day long. And third, resale value. Appraisers and buyers are increasingly viewing LVP as a budget finish. It doesn't carry the same weight as hardwood or even tile. So if resale matters to you, that's something to keep in mind. Now here's the part I really want you to pay attention to, because this applies to every type of flooring, not just LVP. Subfloor prep is the real deciding factor. It doesn't matter if you choose LVP, laminate, or engineered hardwood. If the subfloor isn't prepped properly, your floor will fail. The standard is 3/16 of an inch over 10 feet. That means the floor needs to be flat within that tolerance. If it's not, you need to grind down the high spots and level the low spots. This is the difference between a floor that lasts 20 plus years and one that fails in 1 to 5. Most homeowners never even consider how much prep work is required in a flooring installation. So when you're getting quotes, listen for whether the contractor mentions subfloor preparation. Do they talk about grinding or leveling the floor? If they don't bring it up at all, that's a red flag. Trust me, any good contractor knows that the subfloor is the foundation of the entire project. The reason most contractors are switching is because they're seeing repeat callbacks on LVP installs. They're noticing so many failures now. These failures are caused because companies don't follow installation guidelines. They don't do any preparation. They don't do any grinding and leveling. And because of that, contractors are trying to move to products that have a longer lifespan. But I want to be clear about something. The real issue isn't LVP itself. It's that the market got flooded with cheap products and bad installs. That's what's causing all of these problems. Now, let me walk you through what I personally tell homeowners when someone comes in set on LVP. I always like to remind customers of the alternative options. For living areas like your living room, dining room, and bedrooms, engineered hardwood is a beautiful option. It gives you that real wood look and feel and adds value to your home. For kitchens and bathrooms where moisture is more of a concern, porcelain tile is an excellent choice. It's extremely durable and truly waterproof. And if you're looking for a budget-friendly option that still performs at a high level, premium laminate like Mohawk Redwood and a really nice quality LVP is what I recommend. It's made here in the United States, it's thicker, it's more durable, and it's even sometimes better priced than most LVP floors on the market. The locking mechanism is incredibly strong, it's scratch resistant, and it's waterproof from the top down. It has better visuals and it's way more durable underfoot than LVP. So why would you go for a higher quality product instead of an LVP floor when you have the option to do so? That's what I walk homeowners through every single day. Now, I don't want you to walk away thinking all LVP is bad, because that's not true. Premium LVP has a place, but you need to know what to look for. You want a wear layer of at least 20 mil, you want a rigid core, and you want quality backing from reputable brands. Mohawk also makes some good quality LVP. However, not all of the Mohawk products are the same. Some of their LVP is lower quality, so you want to make sure you're specifically looking at their higher end lines. And here's the thing you need to watch out for. The majority of companies are going to push their lower quality products because they're cheaper and easier to sell to homeowners. But what ends up happening is the homeowner pays more money in the end. When that cheap floor fails and it has to be replaced, the best use cases for premium LVP are rental properties, basements, high moisture areas, or if you're a budget conscious homeowner who needs something solid and durable. The key is knowing what specs to look for and avoiding the cheap products that dominates the market. Because that cheap stuff is what's giving LVP a bad name. And remember, no matter what product you choose, whether it's LVP, laminate, or engineered hardwood, if you don't do the proper subfloor preparation, you're going to have issues with it no matter what. So now you know what the pros are seeing with LVP and what they're recommending instead. But the big question is, engineered hardwood or laminate? Which one is actually the right fit for your home? I made a video that breaks down exactly that. I'll walk you through the real differences, what each one costs installed, and which one makes more sense depending on your lifestyle and your budget. Check it out right here.